Good morning. Welcome to another Theory Thursday. Today we're looking at a concept that spans all genres, spans all time of music, right? This is something that's always been needed, especially if there's always been singers around, which, as we know, was the first instrument, right? The human voice. What are we talking about today? Transposition. How do you take a piece of music and move it up or down? Like, doesn't that change things? Changes the notes. Does it change the intervals? The relationships between everything? What is transposition? We'll talk about it today. Okay? I got my Timex Easy Reader on today. Gold band. And I got my gray tweed on today. And that's what we got going on. As always, if you've been enjoying these, please like and subscribe if you want to stay in the loop, know what's going on. And I think that's it. Let's go to the whiteboard. Let's go. Hey there, welcome back to the whiteboard. Today, as you know, we are talking about transposition. A long word. I had to spell it out in my head. Transposition. What is it? How is it useful to guitar? And what does it even look like in the different situations? First of all, what is transposition? To transpose something is when you take a piece of music and let's say the chords say to play a G and then a D. And you're playing for a singer or something. And the singer says, no, you know what, that's way too low for my voice. Can we transpose it to a higher key? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your chords and notes or whatever you're playing, and you're going to, the relationship between all the notes and all the chords is going to stay the same, but you're going to move everything up for the singer or down depending on who you're playing for or what the use is and what the need is. For the transposition, but you're taking the key of a song and you're moving it. While you're doing that, all of the intervals, all of the relationships between everything stays the same. Okay? So you're basically just changing the key of whatever tune, song, segment of music you're playing. Okay? Let's talk about it and show it so it might make some more sense. Okay, first of all, let's talk about it in a sheet music variety. Now, this is going to be down to the bare bones of why it works. Okay, what's the similarity between these two lines? Right. First of all, what do we have here? Well, we have a D. This is treble clef, by the way. We have a D, jumps up to an A. And then it goes up to a C. Okay? That's the first measure. What do we have over here? We have an A, then it jumps up to an E, and then it goes up to a G. Now these notes, they're not the same notes, so what's the similarity? Well, let's take a look at the relationship between all of these notes, right? From D to A. What is that interval? Okay? Perfect fifth. That's a jump of a fifth from D to A. Now A to C, what is that interval? Minor third. Okay? So let's look over here. A to E, what is that interval? Perfect fifth again. E to G, minor third. Okay, so you can see the intervals, the relationship between the notes stays the same. We've just taken the line and we've bumped it up a fifth, right? Because here we start on a D, here we start on an A. We just shifted the whole thing up, okay? So in the bare bones, this is why transposition works. Because it's the same line, it's the same relationship, it's the same intervals. We're just moving it, okay? That's transposition. So that's with sheet music and notes. How does it work with chords when you're playing along with a singer? Or maybe you're just playing around the campfire and you're trying to sing and whatever song you're playing just isn't working for your voice, right? You need to move it up or down. So let's say you're playing Amazing Grace in the key of C or something, right? So here are common chords: Amazing Days, da 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 da, right? 1 4 1 5. Easy, simple chord progression. We're playing in the key of C. One chord is C, da da da. 4 chord is F, da 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 da. Right? C F C G. And you're thinking, you know what? These chords are just a tad too low for me to sing. I need to go maybe just a whole step higher. All right, so you're thinking, you're in the key of C. How do I transpose this whole thing so that it's just a whole step higher? Okay, what's a whole step away from C? C, a whole step is 2 half steps, remember? C to C sharp to D. I want to play this whole thing in the key of D instead. Well, if you have your Roman numerals, if you know what you're playing, if you know you're playing a 1, a 4, a 1, and a 5, well, that's easy to transpose, right? You just need to know your other major keys. So let's say we're in the key of, well, I'll write it out for you. Here's the key of C. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B, but diminished here. Not that we'd ever need to really use it in a song like Amazing Grace. So, that's the key of C. Key of C major. We want to bump it to D major, right? A whole step away. So what's the key of D look like? D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, C sharp diminished, and we're back to D, okay? If you know your keys, how do you transpose this? Well, the 1 chord is a D. What's the 4 chord? 1, 2, 3, 4. G. 1 chord, we already know. What's the 5 chord? A. Boom. All of a sudden, you're playing Amazing Grace up a whole step, right? So just like over here, the intervals stay the same. The relationship between notes in context with each other stays the exact same. It's just you're shifting the whole thing, right? Same with the chords. Here are your intervals, 1 to 4 to 1 to 5, right? That relationship has to stay the same. But if you know your keys, then you know that you can plug this in for anything. Let's say you wanted to play in the key of, I don't know, E flat. Well, I know the key of E flat, so I know the 1 chord is E flat. I know the 4 chord is A flat, E flat, and the 5 chord is B flat. All of a sudden, we're playing in the key of E flat, right? The relationships stay the same between the chords. Okay, one more thing to talk about here, and this is just in terms of guitar. Here's a way you can think about transposition and the relationship between them. So, like I said, guitar is not laid out like it is on piano, right? On piano, there's only one C4. There's only one place you can play that, right in the middle of the piano. There's no other place, right? On guitar, there's multiple places to play the same note, okay? So visualizing it on the guitar sometimes can be a little hard. So let's draw this out. Let's say I was to play a C here and then an F here, right? So that's a C and an F. First fret, B string, up a half step is a C. E string, up a half step is an F, okay? What's the relationship between these two notes? Perfect fourth. C to F is a fourth. Okay? And to prove it, 2, 3, 4. There you go. It's the fourth. There you go. So what does that mean? That means if you were to even take your hands off, what would this be? It'd be a B string to an E string. What is that? Still a perfect fourth. Okay? Let's slide the whole thing up. All right, what is this? This is an E. This is an A. What is that? Still a perfect fourth, okay? So this is the way you can visualize it. The relationship between the strings does not change. ever, okay? No matter where you're fretting it, okay? If you're on the same fret, it's always going to be the same. B to A, just the strings, is a perfect fourth. Okay? And think about these two strings. What is this? This is an E, and this is an A. That's a perfect fourth. So if you were to do this, what are these two notes? Well, that's a G, and that's a C. That's a perfect fourth away. Okay? So that's the idea of transposition, is taking intervals, taking relationships between notes, between chords, between your strings, and shifting the whole thing, right? Just taking the whole thing and moving it up, moving it down, whatever you need. Whatever the use is, right? It's something you can do. This is a case to be made for Roman numeral analysis or natural number system. If you know what chords you're playing, right, in terms of your key. Is it a 1 chord? Is it a minor 3 chord, right? If you know that, and you know your major scales, then you can transpose any song into anything, right? It's as easy as that if you have your number analysis down, okay? I think that's enough information for today. That's transposition, the ideas behind it, 3 different ways to look at it. All the same thing. Okay? Hopefully you learned something. Obviously, if you have any questions, as always, put them down in the comments. And if you have any comments, put them down in the comments. I love reading them all the time. So hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you for the next one. Thanks. Bye.